Subtitle: After she found out that the ringing sound was actually produced by the flowers, she extended her hand to pluck one. The two of them were utterly terrified by this unexpected sight and immediately turned around, fleeing as fast as they could. The vines yanked the torch, but the two clearly didn't have time to think. They just had to run for it before the vines closed off the exit. Bare-handed, Sayoma tripped over the vines and almost became the next sacrifice, but luckily, the blonde girl was still to pull her back. The two finally made it to the rope, but since it could only hold one, the blonde girl quickly had Sayoma sit on her lap and yelled for the others to yank them up. Once she got up, the blonde girl totally lost it, and when Sayoji asked her what was wrong, she screamed that there was no thorn, just those darn vines down there. The sounds were coming from those flowers, and now Sayoji was completely dumbfounded. This was too bizarre, but he had to accept it was real. Then Curly suggested that they should run out together once it got dark, even if it meant death. They couldn't let themselves get buried in this weird place. Sayoji refused to leave Sayoma, knowing it couldn't run alone, so they waited for the hotel's help. Next day arrived. The group shared the last bit of bread, carefully took a sip of water, and realized they wouldn't last until the cops arrived. Just then, Sayoji noticed Sayoma's leg was beyond saving, so he turned to the others and said they had to amputate his legs before he got septic. But they all refused. That was too cruel for anyone to agree to. However, Sayoma was all in. Sayoma knew the real situation, so Sayoji gave him a shot of strong liquor and said, "Get ready for surgery, bite down on." With Curly's help, they brought a big rock down on Sayoma's leg. It was undoubtedly painful and drawn out, but Sayoma somehow managed to tough it out. Then Sayoji used a hot frying pan to stop the bleeding, completing this makeshift surgery. But at that moment, strange things happened again. Those creepers actually dragged Sayoma's leg into the bushes right in front of them. Fast forward to that night, the blonde girl thought she was too scared to sleep. So she went over to Curly, and they talked about whether they could make it out alive. Before they knew it, they were both in tears, and Curly just kindly let her lean on. Little did they know Sayoma was watching, and before the two could explain, Sayoma completely lost it and started yelling, telling Sayoji. Curly was fooling around with his girlfriend and denied it when caught. Sayoji trusted his girlfriend and didn't buy Sayoma's claim. At that moment, poor Sayoma had it rough. Those vines were creeping toward him again, and without waiting for any permission, they dived straight into her mouth. Sayoji arrived too late. He suffocated, and Curly still joked, "Good thing we helped with that explanation surgery." Just then, Sayoma suddenly piped up. She felt vines crawling inside her. Afraid no one would believe, she grabbed a dagger to cut herself. Sayoji and Curly stopped her. But at this point, a distraught Sayoma was questioning why no one believed her. Suddenly, flowers around started making sounds, mimicking Sayoma. Clearly, these vines aimed for more than just eating people. Not only that, they had the ability to mimic. The next morning, Sayoji looked down the mountain and saw the tribespeople spreading salt around. Sayoji finally realized the tribe prevented their departure to stop vines seeding elsewhere. Then Curly emerged. He told the two to come in and take a look, and the moment Sayoma lifted her shirt, everyone gasped because there was indeed something moving inside her. To keep Sayoma from breaking down, the girlfriend decided to help pull it out. So Sayoji told her to close her eyes, but who knew Sayoma was pretty? She insisted on seeing it come out herself. So Sayoji made an incision on Sayoma's leg. Before vines fled, he grabbed and pulled it out. Sayoma was in agony, barely breathing, but she didn't move an inch. Then Sayoji used the same method to cut open her back and pull out the vines. After all that, everyone thought things would get better, but Sayoma still didn't believe it. She insisted there were still vines in her body. So she begged Sayoji for help again, but this time everyone thought it was just in her head, so they had her drink some alcohol to calm down. Just then, his girlfriend actually saw a vine crawl under Sayoma's skin on her forehead. But no one said a word, and Sayoma noticed something was off with her friends. It seemed she realized something. She parted her hair and asked, wait, did you all see that too?" Curly dared not speak. Who'd want brain surgery? To save Sayoma, he decided to escape that night. Maybe the girlfriend was too tired and slept right through to the next morning. This time, Sayoma woke up early, taking advantage of everyone's inattention. She found a little knife and decided to pull the vines out herself. But when the girlfriend noticed something was wrong, Sayoma had already made a mess of herself. Sayoji tried to stop her, but she accidentally cut his palm instead. Curly, oblivious to Sayoma's breakdown, rushed in trying to calm her down. Curly slowly buckled under the stress, while Sayoma finally recognized her mistake. But instead of blaming her, Curly reached out to comfort her. At that moment, the vine seemed to sense death in the air and began wrapping around Curly's legs, dragging her into the bushes. Sayama completely lost her will to life. Curly was gone, and there was no point in her being alive anymore. She cried out, pleading with the blonde girl to end her life. Seeing Sayama was so battered, Sayoji slowly approached her with a knife. After a scream rang out, only Sayoji and the blonde girl were left. At that moment, Sayoji thought of a brilliant idea. He spread Sayama's blood on the blonde to fake death and escape, then gave his girlfriend the forgotten car keys, saying, "Don't look back. No matter what happens, just keep running forward. If the car starts, drive. If it doesn't start, don't hesitate to just run towards the hotel. Speaking of which, I've been... Oh wait, I don't know how to drive." But of course, the blonde girl understood her boyfriend's intentions. He was willing to risk his life to give her a chance to escape this suffocating place.